already holding a political office, let us say for Masindi. Yeah, what do you mean the bridge of the people?
Well, this name I acquired some 20 years ago when I was contesting to come to district level, LOC 5 as a councillor. But as of now, I've served for 5 consecutive terms, and I decided to rest. Currently, I'm holding the office of the district vice chairman, NRM. The other ones I've relinquished. Okay. So I got that name because I was connecting my people of Pakani sub-county by then to the district. I was their bridge.
Okay, so I understand Honorable Kanaginagi is the vice chairperson of the National Resistance
Movement. Yes.
Right. Maybe let me get you to Honorable Kanti. Something that we are really more interested in. It is very, very key for us to get to know what political parties are we holding here, or are we?
I am Kanti Rogers.
Yeah.
I am the commissioner for Bunyoro. I commission every person who is coming to stand under National Unity Platform. Our umbrella voice is people power. And when you say people power, they say our power. But me, I say people power. Our power is better than their power.
Okay.
That's it. So I'm a warrior by birth, a natural grade warrior. I don't deal with nonsense and I hate nonsense. Whenever I see nonsense, whoever is doing it, even if it's the Pope, I'll slap him. Yeah.
Slapping him to correct him?
Do corrections.
Okay.
Do corrections. Go back to the right path.
Okay.
And that's me.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Our viewers that are watching us live on Elkem Television or Elkem TV, this is the platform where expression is guaranteed. So just before we get into the day of this show, the words or the ideas that you get to hear on this show are not ideas of Elkem TV, but they are ideas of the people that we host on these shows. So you get to understand that it is a new year and it is the first one, the first show of its kind since 2022, and we are yet going to understand what was in the national politics of 2022 and what should we be able to expect in the national politics of 2023. So we all know that before we got to this new year, we had a number of things that were happening in our government or in other offices that are in the opposition. So one of the things that really caught the attention of the people, one was the coffee deal. Yeah, I'm just trying to put out a few things that happened at the previous year. We had the coffee deal. We had the Lubowa Hospital, of course. The person that was supposed to have the contract for the coffee deal was the same person that had the Lubowa Hospital. We also had people that were really dying. More especially, we saw the speaker. We saw also other patent people that also died. That is also another thing that really happened in 2022, and it is very key for us to be able to talk about it. And also, we have the oil pipeline, yes, which was also stopped, and quite a number of issues, etc. Let me start from Honorable Kanti Rogers.
Yes, please.
What is that one thing or the two things that really caught your attention in the national politics of 2022?
Thank you very much. I'll just say greetings from the President-elect, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu, also known as Bobby Wine. Greetings to everybody and Happy New Year from him. I have that message for the listeners and the viewers. Yeah, what caught my eyes and my mind that time of 2021 elections is, did we go for elections anyway? No. To me, we went for war. We were in a battlefield.
Okay, maybe just a correction. We are looking at the politics of 2022. But of course, if you really want to borrow an idea from 2021, that is fine. But we had the elections in 2021.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We elected in 2021. And that's the politics where I stood as the MP of Masindi municipality under the umbrella National Unity Platform. So us as National Unity Platform did not go for politics. We went for war. Actually, we did not even go to source for votes. we went like hunting for votes. We were moving through military to get to the voter. So we had a lot of gas, tear gas. We had a lot of inconveniences. We had a lot of arrests without trial. We had a lot of... Actually, I personally was not supposed to nominate. But through my intelligence, I was told police was deployed at the nomination center. And they were waiting for me in case I did not follow the presidential directive on coronavirus, that is COVID-19. But when I was told, they told me, walk on foot, go alone. The rest will find you there. And that's what I did. Immediately they saw me coming on foot, they could not arrest me. Because I was not supposed, I was intended not to nominate.
All right, Honorable Kanti.
Yes, please.
I'm more interested in something that really happened in the political arena.
This is already politics.
Yes, that is already politics. But I would like you to highlight a few things that really caught your attention in 2022.
There are quite many. It's a ship level fill up, but I will just fill a small bowel of the catastrophes, the mayhem we were facing. One, we don't go for elections in Uganda. That was the experience I went to understand. We go to fight to get there. And two, there is no president in Uganda. There is a contractor for the whites. He's running a white man's contract economically.
Honorable, you just did mention that you have the president.
That my president.
So when you say we do not have a president,
I'm coming to that.
Uganda,
I'm coming to that. The so-called president, I condone that statement. The so-called Mr. President is not supposed to be our president. One, this is somebody who robbed this country by the use of firearm, and he was promised a life presidency contract by the secret society. So even going for these elections, we are just testing if the white man is out. So a little people outside there in the villages can understand this. People know we go for elections. The only office we always change are these other political grounds like MPs, LCs, chairpersons, mayors. But it's very difficult to stand on the position of the president. Now, one thing I was doing a case study, and I was being interviewed time and again, like you're doing right now. Thank you very much for Elkem television. It's my first time being here. You might find me like I'm speaking bad, but whatever I'm speaking is from the depth of thought. Two, we don't have the Electoral Commission because it's not independent. You can't tell me the appointing officer is your boss and you're going to vote your boss out. So three is the military. You can't tell me the military is neutral, whereas it's only escorting one person. And then promise you, he will come to campaign as a soldier, not as a president. So that experience to me was the worst. But we are still sharing. I would request, if you have any other question, or else I pass the microphone next to my brother here.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Kanti. He has mentioned about how the Electoral Commission, I think he was really more interested in the elections or the election process of 2021 and how he says the Electoral Commission of Uganda is not independent. Of course, we shall get to understand because we have the NRM Vice Chairperson of particularly Masindi district. Honorable,
yes, sir.
What are those things that caught your attention in the politics, the national politics of 2022? We are looking at 2020.
Most of the things in the daily life are relative. It depends upon how you view them. My son here is entitled to his lenses of seeing things like that. But what caught my attention in 2022, there are about 3 or 4 things. You do well remember that you were reading out of the COVID lockdown. Eventually it was lifted and our children went back to school. We had lost 2 years and that was a big drawback on our children and the nation at large. Number 2, you do well to recall that our border with Rwanda had been closed for 2 years. But during that year, through the intervention of the first son, the border was reopened and it improved our trading strength, because I don't have the figures of hand. We are a big trading partner of Rwanda, but that had been closed off, and it affected our economy. And we cannot talk of politics if we don't have good economy. Then during that year, we also had the bombs in Kampala by the ADF. And it is the same year that we agreed with the DRC that we're going to flush out the ADF from Congo through Operation Shuja. That was also an incident. Then, although this one is not national here, it is international, but its effects are directly affecting us. The Russia-Ukraine war. And mostly, on the other, in what I do, something I do else is farming. This has affected us as farmers, because most of the fertilizers were coming from Ukraine. Well, now we don't have them, and even the prices skyrocketed. A bag that we were buying, 50 kilogram bag that we were buying at 150,000, doubled to 300,000. Then, of course, the prime mover of every economy is the oil, fuel. A liter of diesel was at 3,400, but on the onset of that war, it went to 7,000. With petrol, in most of our towns, was at 8,000. Worst of all, here in our neighborhood in Hoima, a liter cost 12,000, and that has fueled a lot of inflation, which has affected the normal life of the citizen. Then towards the end of the year, we had the Ebola epidemic. Although mostly it concentrated in about two districts of Mubende and Kasanda, but it also spread in Wakiso, in some instances in Kampala, and even in Masaka. So there was a lockdown in those two districts of Mubende and Kasanda. And of course, those districts don't exist in isolation. There are roads that pass through, for example, Kampala to Fort Porto. People are not allowed to have stopovers in those districts of Mubende and Kasanda. And it was during the time of examinations, promotion examinations, primary, secondary, and even HSC. Our children there suffered because they did their exams during that lockdown. That adversely affected us. Those are the instances I can easily pick out.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Kanaginagi. Our viewers that are just joining us on the platform, this is Elkem Television, and we are basically looking at 2022 national politics. So we're doing this review to see what were our expectations, what happened, and what can we do to see that we are actually moving forward. So, Honorable Kanaginagi, you did mention that we had the skyrocketing. Let me call it skyrocketing.
Inflation.
Yes. The prices, the increase and all that, and also from the effects of the fuel, we've seen that most of the commodities, the prices highly increased.
Yes.
Who is responsible for the inflation in this country?
One thing I'm known for is telling the truth. We as people in government, we are responsible, because one of the cardinal objectives why the government is put in place is for the welfare of its people. Despite the presence of the Brazilian economy, there are some things that government must not completely privatize. Recently I was being interviewed. I said, for example, health. Government cannot completely privatize health, education, security, and even now this oil. Because as I said, the fuel is the prime mover of an economy.
Government cannot completely privatize.
Yeah.
It can privatize.
It can privatize partly, maybe in terms of percentages, maybe 50 or 60. In the past, I also believe that
Honorable Kanaginagi, because when we talk about government privatizing, not completely privatizing,
yes,
maybe somehow government has failed, because even for the few government schools, okay, now we're talking about the government entities. We've seen the schools, we've seen the hospitals, we've seen the few that government really has, because if it is, in your opinion, completely privatizing, what about the small things that we're seeing here, that we're looking at, the schools, the hospitals? What is the problem?
well,
They are not being shared. How about if we give them the whole mantle to take over this, what the private sector should do? Can government be able in position to deliver?
me as a person and as a leader, I believe in the PPP, private public partnership. That's why I'm saying that as much as the government is privatizing, it should retain some share. Let me elaborate, especially with the fuel. In the past, especially during the UPC regime, we would call them granaries, reservoirs. For the produce marketing board, we would have reservoirs. Then for the fuel, we would have reservoirs, especially in the Jinja and even in the Kampala industrial area, whereby those governments had planned that even if there was a catastrophe and there was a lockdown, maybe in Kenya, the border was closed, we would have fuel that would take us not less than 3 months. But when this war came, we were caught off guard. Why? Because those reserves had been completely privatized. I hear, although I may not have complete to an individual, Mukura. So now, even he didn't have enough oil there, and whatever oil that came in, he had to determine the price. I think that was not proper. And now, as a way forward, I think we should think of reverting those oil reserves back to government.
Okay. So in other words, NRM, we all understand that NRM, where you are as a
vice chairperson of the district, yes.
You have a theme that is securing
the future.
And very many times we've seen Ugandans that have come out to try to talk to government, to try to put up an alarm that, hey, we're having these prices, we're having these fuel prices, we're having, they're going through that kind of mayhem. What Honorable
Kanti is talking about.
Yes. So what are you doing as government to see that we have at least a fair reduced, or that the prices will be quite fair?
I've already referred to an interview I had recently. In the local language here, literally we have a proverb that one brave man cannot fight 10 weaklings. It seems our president is a lone fighter. Most of the people, unfortunately, around him are the ones letting him down. Because we're here, and I think it is true, as we are reading out of the COVID era, accountability was not forthcoming. Some people made it a project, I hear, that they even built these growers out of the what?
COVID money.
The ambulances that were bought cannot be fully accounted for. So accountability, and yet a lot of money
was invested.
It was got locally and even internationally, but accountability not forthcoming.
All right, we're going to start from there, Honorable. Let me get shortly to Honorable Kanti.
Yes, my dear.
We've seen you are a member of the National
Unity Platform. Yes.
Also the commissioner.
Yes.
Of
Bunyoro region. Yes, please.
Bunyoro region.
Yes, please.
We've heard about the MK project. It's one of the series that have been happening in 2022. What is your take on the MK project?
It is, to me, I nullify that. Have you ever watched a cartoon movie? Like you're in your living room and the cartoon movie is there. and children are shouting about that cartoon movie. It ends as a cartoon movie. I would request, I shouldn't even discuss that. We have better things to discuss.
Okay.
Just like you asked about the oil. Mr. Atenyo was saying something very nice that has attracted my attention. The oil reservoirs. These are always kept there for disaster preparedness. Two words that have killed this country. One is privatization. Two is investor.
Before we get to oil and privatization, I would like us to first of all understand about the MK
project.
MK project, and also because this is something that is also affecting the National Unity Platform. One of the things that have really happened, of course, as National Unity Platform, we've been in position to give it some kind of attention.
Okay, naturally, from the natural perspective of life, when a bull overgrows and there's one that wants to overthrow the big one, it kills it or it kicks it out of the crowd. To prove that that story is nice to the citizens, let him do what the bulls do. Chase your father out. Don't give us your work. To prove your father that you are right, you have to chase him yourself. You have to fight him yourself. Get him out of there because you want to be there. Right now you're telling us you are there for your father. Your father is there for you. One fight, so your father is fighting you. I don't like that. I'm a scholar of philosophy. I don't see any sense in where they are putting us in a game of brothers, of father and son. Remember that office is temporal. It's a contract after 5 years that is advertised publicly, so that the public can have someone to go and actually we produce what they call nomination, what we call bill of quantities for us to stand is the constitution. So they put it vacant. Electoral Commission will advertise it that it's vacant. Now once it is vacant, they call bidders. NRM bring a bidder, FTC bring a bidder, UPC bring a bidder, NUP bring a bidder, so that you give us your constitution. The constitution is the bill of quantities for the party. So after that we nominate. Nomination is we have approved your bill of quantities, which is the constitution. So they give us chance to advertise it publicly. Go to the public, move and advertise your constitution so that the public decides who is right for this contract. The contract they give out is nation building using resources around, and then you have got to capacity, call it capacity building. We've got to use resources like land, forests, minerals, like oil. We've got agriculture, life support. We are supposed to have health so that people can be healthy to work, education so that people can build brains from hopelessness. Actually, the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with a sound one. So, to me, I don't see any reason as to why he should disturb us. Let him talk to his father. The NRM will have to bring a candidate who will nominate to advertise the constitution of NRM in case of any other party in case. The public will decide him. This time we don't need to discuss that.
Okay.
As for me right now, he's even making a mistake. He's a serving military officer to advertise himself for presidency. Right. Actually, if it was a very good thinking country, he's supposed to be arrested. Yeah. Okay,
thank you so much. So maybe just the last one on MK, on the MK project.
Yes, please.
Because for a very long time, we understand that not honorable, of course, the general, yes, General Muhoozi is a youth. Right, and for a long time we've been trying to come up with a campaign that we need these young people
on board,
and etc. Would you endorse General Muhoozi Kainerugaba for president if he stood in 2026?
To the best of my understanding and my conscience ready, I cannot. Due to lack of trust, that's one. Age is not a problem, because if you say you call him general, is he general by fair means or fraud? I leave it to the public. I own that. It's not Elkem TV speaking this. It's my mind, my mindset for the public.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have something you're thinking about and it's a bright idea and you just keep it yourself,
okay.
To us as Rastafari, we say you're stupid. Speak it out to the public so that the public understands where the problem starts from.
All right. Let me cross shortly to Honorable Kanaginagi.
Yes.
Honorable,
yep.
The last time we hosted the president in Masindi. That was the golf course. Golf. The president of this country,
Republic of Uganda.
Yes, of the Republic of Uganda, and that is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Yep.
All right, so the last time we hosted the president, we had a few young people that came up to say that if in case we are having an issue of age and all that changing, not the changing ideology, but of course the issue of age. If Muzei, as the public puts it, is really tired and is willing to step out, we have a standby generator, and that is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
Yes.
What is your take? What does NRM have to put out to the public? Should we expect General Kainerugaba in office, that is 2026, standing for president in 2026, or you people are trying to cook some other thing?
I've been asked this question. I think this is the 10th time.
The 10th?
The 10th time.
10th, yes.
And I've always responded that we have a party constitution,
okay,
which clearly spells out how we identify leaders. We also have a national constitution, which also has articles in that direction. Personally, and even as a leader, I believe NRM will identify whoever will replace General Museveni.
Okay.
Yes, and as my son here said, MK is still serving a soldier. And there is a military act that prohibits him directly involving in politics.
Okay.
So I think
okay,
it is not healthy.
So what does it have to be for the public? Should we say that the first son is not directly engaging in politics?
He shouldn't directly engage in politics.
He should. So he is. In the meantime,
he is. At the moment, yes, he is. According to the tweets that we are seeing, he is.
Okay, we've had a number of series. We've had things like Muzei, Tovaku Meini. We've had standby generator. We've had MK project. Does it mean that? And also, we've had, by the way, the first son who directly put out NRM as a party that is not trustworthy, a party that is he has never seen. I'm quoting his tweet. Yeah. Quite disorganized, etc. Yeah. So where does it put the government?
First of all,
and its people.
Uganda is a republic, and not a dynasty.
Okay.
Whereby, if Museveni is going off, his son has directly got to be the president. That is out. So, as I've already said, the party
will decide
who will replace who. Through those normal means, not automatically that Muhoozi, of course Muhoozi being a citizen of Uganda, if he resigns from the army and the passes through the normal channels, yes, he can become the president if he is elected through an election. But not saying that he will just replace his father. No.
All right, you did mention that it is not right for someone in the military to stand or to directly engage in politics.
Yes.
Should we say that General MK is directly disobeying the constitution of this country or the laws of Uganda are weak?
That is true. And the Muzei is making a mistake not to cool down his son. Because we have seen instances in the past. BSJ, Mugisha Muntu, there is a general who was put on Katebe for 7 years, Tumukunde. When they engaged in the politics, they even court-martialed. But this one is freely doing what? In fact, he's tarnishing the image of his father and undoing what his father's legacy.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Our viewers that are watching us live on Elkem TV, Elkem Television, this is the platform where expression is guaranteed. We are proudly sponsored by the Venue Hotel, where we are actually seated right now. You can be able to reach out to them for accommodation, for conference facilities, for outside catering. If you have an event, they can be able to host you on these grounds. And we are also powered, and we're in partnership with Kaz Media. Of course, Kaz Media, they are very, very well versed in things to do with the media coverage. That is videography and photography. So let me get back to Honorable Kanti. You sounded like you were more interested in the oil, yeah? Because some of the things that happened in 2022, we saw that your president, the one that you called the president-elect,
Mr. President,
came out, Mr. President,
publicly.
Yes, came out publicly and did say that it was not a very good idea for us to have the oil pipeline cross to Tanzania. I hope that is right.
Yeah, man.
So where does it, how does it leave the Ugandans? Do you think we could go for this kind of idea, or we should have continued with the pipeline as it was put earlier?
I was actually looking at the oil of a graduate to a mad person to organize the occasion. First of all, he'll have to invite his mad friends to be the ones as guests. How do you tell me we are drilling oil from Bunyoro and Bunyoro has only 1% shares? 1% shares. Total has 40% shares. Uganda has, is it 15% shares? And Tanzania has 15% shares? I don't understand the logic. We have environmental related disasters like right now, Budongo is dilapidated. Bugoma was taken for sugar. Remember, green is the new black. They have the only thing that harvests carbon, can harvest carbon very quickly is green. It's called the trees. You understand? Now, we haven't even seen any budget for rehabilitating Budongo forest.
Okay.
But they are showing us the budget for the pipeline. We haven't seen the budget for restoration of forestry in at least all these other hilly areas. We plant broad-leafed trees. Actually, I'm just inviting you people to join cooperatives. I'm closing the cooperative here because they have lost the word cooperative. They have made it self-service office. Now, Uganda, under this leadership, is not supposed to handle oil. I've gone to oil-producing countries. Where oil goes wrong, there is always bullets, popcorns everywhere. Oil is the easiest thing to transact, and it makes very big profits. I don't see a reason anywhere in my mind, in my friends' minds, where a government like this is supposed to handle oil. It is a very big project. I've seen people they are consulting are only mafias. If this country is supposed to start the business called oil, it should borrow a leaf from Kenya. After elections, Kenya will always bring opposition on board. So that decision is balanced. But for us here, an opponent, which they call opposition, it's not opposition, it's alternative leadership. In case we have to share ideas with opposition, we can have oil running. But in case opposition is left out, the battle will not end.
Okay.
If you can't talk to your enemy freely after a mayhem, after a catastrophe, so that you harmonize, it means the problem will continue becoming bigger, biggest, larger, like that.
Honorable Kanti, is the opposition willing to engage in a friendly conversation with the government?
There is always one thing I believe in this world. Dialogue will always bring solutions to order.
One of the things that happened in 2022 national politics, we saw that NUP openly, broadly refused to join the iPod. Where else can we have these dialogues happen?
You can't tell me the devil has killed all your children. It's now on its knees for you to come back as a brother. Yeah, the devil is supposed to be given. We can forgive you, yes, but you have to serve a sentence. Yeah, I always want to use simple language. Yes, you are forgiven, but you have to serve a sentence.
All right. So why are you saying that we should have these dialogues? Because you did mention that the government is supposed to come on board and also have dialogues with its opposition to see that you people can be able to have some things done. Where else can we have conversations with government as opposition?
Let me just give you a clear digest of this.
All right.
In case we have a problem with you, I and you, we can't solve it between me and you. But we have got, my father here, Mr. Kanaginagi, we shall send friends to go and discuss with other friends, whereby we can have a safe ground to discuss. Then by the time they make us meet together, it's already preempted. It's like they have already digested it, discussed it. To my surprise, the oppressor will not forget to oppress. According to what Uganda is like. Right now, I was reading something. Tanzania is going to do a standard gauge railway to Congo. That is 2,100 kilometers at only $2.2 billion US dollars. But Uganda is doing 1,700 less by what Tanzania is covering the distance. At $12 billion. You understand what I'm saying? Which is 6 times
better than Uganda.
So I would, if I was in parliament, I hold that project. Tanzania does its railway gauge and completes it at 2 billion. Then we invite the engineers from Tanzania to come and be the ones to do for the one for Uganda, which is costing around 6 times.
Maybe we're supposed to look at these as two different economies. Tanzania's economy is not Uganda's economy. And also,
my brother, let me guide you very quickly.
All right.
Economy is worldwide. Don't look at the currency exchange rate. Economy is worldwide. Right now, oil is affecting the whole world. Gas is affecting the whole world. The economy is directed. Just right now, it is being kept at a spin by just oil.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Kanti. Of course, we shall have more time to discuss about the oil and the pipeline. Honorable, as we get to the close, of course, of this show, we're supposed to be here for just about 45 minutes to 1 hour. We did have quite a number of issues happening in 2020, but of course, because of lack of time, we're going to be able to do a summary of the things that really happened. Out of the good things and the bad things that happened in 2022 national politics, what is that one thing that you think we shouldn't have come back in 2023?
I will keep on referring to the interview I had recently. I said we as NRM, we have not been serious with fighting corruption. Because everything, whatever good ideas, projects, intentions, call them, by corruption. People themselves,
exactly, use the right word.
They are no longer stealing in Mitwaro, but they are stealing now in billions.
Industrial way bridge.
And very soon I think we shall hear people stealing in trillions. So we need to come up as a government in place to fight corruption squarely, taking the bull by its horn. That's when all our programs that we are intending to do in this year will succeed. Otherwise, this PDM, Demioga, whatever, those that are intended to lift the poorest of the poor from that level.
We've had we've had issues to do with corruption. In fact, if NRM is supposed to be known for anything, it is fighting corruption since it ever came to power. But it is something that we think as Ugandans is getting to be virtual reality. It is not coming to life. We're fighting corruption every year. We are now securing their future. Now, what is the problem to do with fighting corruption? It is something we are seeing every day, and it is getting worse.
I think, and as I said, it seems our president now is a lone fighter. The only brave man fighting what?
Are you telling us that the president is fighting corruption?
To me, I think he is. How? Because the many institutions that he has enabled to be put in place to fight corruption, he's well-intentioned. But why is it corruption going away? Which means the reference around him are not doing what is expected of them.
Okay.
And I've always referred to Rwanda. Fortunately, I studied with Kagame at Inter School.
Okay.
I found him in Senior 2 in 1973. He left in 1975. I stayed there until 78. But when you go to Rwanda, because Kagame has surely taken the bull by its horns, corruption is very minimal there. That, and I pray that happens here in Uganda.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable. As we
Still corruption.
Okay.
You can't tell me. The only child I have who knows how to fight the village, his name is corruption. So I am the owner of that child. I send him to go and fight in the whole village. They come back and report him to me. I say, let him come. I will deal with him. It is your son who is doing it. So Museveni owns corruption in his wallet. He is the true owner. Actually, his third name was Turuhaburwa. It is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Turuhaburwa corruption. That he must add his name there. He owns it. Actually, his true name is corruption. I don't know if I'm offending you, Mr. President. That is your name from Bunyoro. You own it. You are the owner of this game called corruption. The word corruption is like a cream. Its real name is thief. Your guys are thieves, maybe even including you. After all, you robbed this country using the gun. Can anybody contest that? You will tell us through corruption there is ADF. Look for ADF, it's not there. Then they tell us there is M23. Look for M23, that it's from Uganda. It is from Rwanda. You come to Bunyoro, there is a rebel called Itongwa in Bunyoro. Look for him. At the end of it is Kikome Kosediabane. All this is corruption. Propaganda can be corruption.
When you talk about the ADF and the M23,
yes, please.
Yeah, we've seen that government has not come out to say that they are the ones that are leading the M23 and also the ADF.
Did you read the report from Congo? Congo has affirmed.
That was, of course, that was for Congo. But this is not something that we've had.
What are we doing?
That is not something that we've had
from the government. What are we doing in Congo?
Of Uganda, because we are there to fight the ADF and also the M23.
Why? Let me give you. Did you ever read the security set up apparatus for countries? On every border, we have all borders of the countries in the world are controlled by United Nations. United Nations means Ugandan border. This side there is Congo. The side of Congo there is Uganda.
Okay.
All countries. Sudan is there. Sudan's forces are there. Ugandan forces are there. Tanzanian forces. This is how we defend the borders.
Okay.
I give you my side. You give me your side. You understand? So what was the United Nations report saying? Uganda is fully involved in the rebels. So I'm a victim of ADF, which ADF I did not see. I saw ADF UPDF in Kichwamba on 8th of June 1998 on while I was the president.
All right.
So I don't want to be deceived. I'm ready to speak. Whatever I'm speaking is not subject to Elkem TV.
Okay.
It is my mind as Kanti Rogers.
All right. Thank you so much. Maybe we can have more about the ADF, the corruption, some other time. Yes. But maybe as you wind up this show, we had the coffee deal, the Vinci coffee deal, and of course the same contractor that failed because it is in record. Yes, he failed. Lubowa is the same person that we had given the deal of coffee in Uganda. Well, where was it putting the Ugandans? Do you think this is something that was really feasible and also viable for the Ugandans to have?
I would like to clean the Ugandans' minds first. You say there is an investor who has come to build Lubowa, and it is the Ugandan government that is giving an investor money. Who is the investor in this case? You have an investor who has come to build Lubowa,
but the government
of Uganda is giving the investor capital.
We did not say, of course. Okay, maybe it would be capital in the business language and all that. But
is it right? If you are the investor and you want money from me,
the government of Uganda in the coffee deal, it was only giving the investor the tax. Yeah, that tax, it was relieving the investor from tax. It was not supposed to be maybe to pay the taxes for about 10 years and also giving them land. But of course, when you look at most of the things that were supposed to be done in the coffee deal, it was the investor to have the infrastructure, to have the machinery, etc., etc. Maybe this was only giving the investor at least enough space, yeah, for them to exercise.
Somewhere in this discussion with Elkem TV, I said something. I don't know if you remember it. I said the words that have killed this country are investor, and privatization.
Okay.
So which investor is coming to take a private deal from the farmers? Dr. Apollo Milton Obote made something very simple. Coffee marketing board. The farmers go through their board to market their coffee. And then the farmer will get the profit. Always avoid the middleman or kayungirizi in business. He takes free money. So you can't tell me there is a coffee deal has someone. That deal was a deal in a deal, and that deal refused because the deal did not go through the deal. I can't allow that one.
All right.
And that deal can never happen. If you go by that, by the way, Mr. Museveni and NRM, if you start giving deals from our farmers, the local farmers who are suffering with the hoe, to give them to Kayungirizi so that they get profit, one day the popcorns you're carrying will become popcorns against you.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Kanti Rogers. Of course, this is the platform where expression is guaranteed. As we earlier told you, this show is proudly sponsored by Davenue Hotel Masindi, and it is also powered in partnership of Elkem Media Services and Kaz Media. All right, so we get into the last segment, of course, where we're supposed to have at least some recommendations. And also for our viewers, we had about 2 people on the show, but of course, because of unavoidable circumstances, our colleague has not been able to go with us up to the end of the show. Yeah, of course, because of other engagements. So what are some of the recommendations that we can have? Because from the kind of conversations that we've been having in this show, you've not mentioned anything good that happened in 2022. So maybe moving forward, what are some of the things that should be inclusive in 2023 national politics?
Yes, first priority areas, education. The money that comes from oil should enforce education. We should never pay school fees for people to go to school, because I've seen wealth coming from oil.
Honorable Kanti, we have not had even a drop of oil out of this country.
Can you Google how much Uganda has exported and what is our position for exporting oil?
Well, I've not had any kind of...
after here, we shall go ex officio. There's no problem.
Okay, that is fine.
Yeah, out of the door.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe for the for the feasibility, the feasibility study.
You said
I'm
promising Ugandans.
Okay.
So in the new coming Uganda this year,
I want us to be quite realistic.
Yes, please.
Can we have the oil support 2023 education in Uganda?
Not now.
Exactly. So I want us to look at some of the things moving forward in 2023.
We have a budget right now. We had the budget 2022-2023, which ends in June, then starts in July.
Yeah.
Mr. Museveni made a mistake. After the budget, he increased salaries for science teachers and top military officers.
And of course, did not increase for the arts.
Did not improve. That one is coming later. But what I'm saying, after you set a budget and then you increase price somewhere, you have a problem to clear. That's why you see right now many people are not getting salary, because it was already drafted and designed, and the money was put in the Ministry of Finance. That's why you can see Matia Kasaija comes out and says, please, we don't have money. We are looking for the other commercial banks that can lend the country, which is wrong, because this country is managed by Bank of Uganda, which is monitored by World Bank and the rest of those sister banks. So I wouldn't like to see a situation where after the budget you make an increment. So priority areas for the budget that we still have right now: agriculture. We all have to eat. We have how many meals a day? Some can have 6, others 1, but we all have food to support life. Then health. We need doctors. Fine, they were given money, but I need to see value for money. I need to see the patients treated. I need to see, if I visit the hospital, if the death rates have been 100, I even find there is no one who died this month. I will know now. We have boosted their pockets. They are ready to work and happy to be serving patients, because that's the profession they went to university to study. And they swore, they call it the oath of, the doctors swear a Hippocratic oath. So by Acleo Pius, father of medicine. That one is, we shall share it ex officio, I and the members here. Then I said education, agriculture and health. If we can just have our money put around there, when people are educated, they are ready to work. Brains are working. When people are healthy, They are ready to stay in the market area, building capacity here and there, business boosting. And when people have food, like farmers are working hard to bring food to the market, everybody has some profit to take home at the end of it all. So I thank Kaz Media, I thank Elkem TV, I thank Divenu Hotel. Actually, I'm privileged being here on the 8th of January. We can always come back. In case you feel me, I'm welcome. I'm just available. Next step on the phone.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Kanti. But maybe, do you have, anyway?
My wife is there, my family is there, my friends are there, and I don't hate anyone. When I hate you, I tell you. If you get annoyed, you go with that hate. When you feel it's not necessary, you come back.
And of course, when you do nonsense, you're slapped.
I'm a veteran of nonsense. I don't deal with nonsense, excuse me. Anybody who does that, please, I will sentence you to gravity at horizontal. Thank you, Elkem.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers. Okay, it was really quite an interesting show, and for those that have not been able to catch us today, we're always live on Elkem television every Sunday at 4 p.m.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we apologize, of course, due to some technical issues here and there. We are unable to start in time, but we hope that next Sunday we shall be able to be live at exactly 4 p.m. It has been a very nice meeting you here, yes, Honorable Kanti. Of course, you're always welcome on this show. Well, maybe next Wednesday we shall also be able to look at another kind of discussion. Of course, we shall be able to engage other people that are also well versed about the politics of this country, and of course other social realities that affect other people of Uganda. It has been nice having everyone watching us on the show, and of course we are powered and in partnership with Kaz Media, sponsored by the Venue Hotel, and also the people, our producer, director Daniel Mayanja, and Mugud, who is also Murungi Collins. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.